Welcome to Filey, North Yorkshire, England. I'm going to give you a little tour of my hometown by the seaside. Just gone over the old railway crossing. No lights or sounds here. Changed a little bit since I was a kid. Used to be a little bit harder to get your bikes through. Taking you a walk through Glen Gardens. We used to play as a kid. There's a boating lake here, and I used to spend so much money paddling around in the little canoes. I think that's where my love for canoeing started. I've just spotted a squirrel, so I'll see if I can video. I've been trying to find these for ages. Glen Gardens has a few wooden sculptures. The badger is one of my favourites. Just around the corner is Crescent Gardens, where there are lots of beautiful flower beds, and this is the hub for the International Food Festival and brass bands. And this little fish pond is one I've managed to fall in a few times, always in winter. A little bit further down is a little wishing well. I threw my coin in and it managed to hit the bell twice, once on the rebound, so I'm sure I'm going to get my wish. Most of Filey hotels are located here and have fantastic views of Filey Beach and all the way out to Flamborough Heads. Walking back to Glen Gardens, then under the shade of the trees, walk down Martin's Ravine and onto the sea wall, where you have panoramic views of the beach and Filey Brig. This takes us down to Filey Cobble Landing, where all the fishing boats are located, and also the Filey lifeboat. As you can see, they're out there practicing now in the raft. The lifeboat was further out to sea, so I didn't get to film it this time. It's almost low tide, so I'm going to take you out to the end of Filey Brig and see if we can spot some seals that my dad told me about. At low tide you can see the old Roman wall to the left, and you can see all the white hotels of Filey in the background. This is looking back to Filey Brig, and about 9 miles away in the distance is Scarborough, which I'll take you to in my next video. I'm so pleased my dad was right. There is seals at the end of Filey Brig. Unfortunately, it's so windy it's hard to hold the camera and get good shots of the seals and small birds without camera shake. We've used the steps to climb up to the top of Filey Brig, and the wind is so much stronger here. On the top of Filey Brig you can see views of Scarborough and beyond. I've always loved walking on the top of Filey Brig and along the beach to Bempton Cliffs. There are also two walks here. The Yorkshire Wolds Way, 79 miles south, and the Cleveland Way, 109 miles north. St Oswald's 12th century church is where I was christened as a child, and it's the oldest building in Filey. I've always liked walking around the graveyard and looking at the old headstones. This particular one I drew 26 years ago in pen and ink. Some old buildings of Filey built in 1705 and the local fire station. Filey bus station, where I often catch a double-decker bus through to Scarborough to see friends and do some shopping. Now walking down towards Filey Methodist Church. This is where my great-granny Osborne used to take me to jumble sales and pick up jigsaws and cheap toys. Further around the corner and onto Bellevue Street I walked down to Charlotte's of Filey, where Charlotte Bronte stayed here at Cliff House from 1849 to 1852. I went into the Bronte Winery and it was such a good atmosphere. The grapevine looked gorgeous and was full of grapes at the end of August. From the menu I ordered a hot chocolate and a Bronte burger, which was very filling but way too much for me to eat. Filey Memorial Gardens is where my great granny Osborne used to take me as a kid to see the birds in the aviaries, and she used to have to drag me away each time. When I moved to Australia, I bought my very own bird aviary. Well, this is my last few days in Filey. Just going down Clarence Drive. I've run into my mate Darren in Glen Gardens, which was kind of cool. This is where my dad used to live in Grange Avenue, and where a lot of my family and friends still do. Around the back is a lawn cemetery. This is where my great granny and grandad Osborne are buried, and whenever I come over to England, I visit them both. Here I am at my great granny Osborne's grave. So that's my home seaside town of Filey in North Yorkshire, England. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my videos. Subscribe to my channel Chris Osborne Adventures by clicking on my name.